I don't know a vegan, but I'll tell you. I'll tell.
What happened if your son came up to you, he's like, Dad, I gotta tell you something?
I'll find another son.
There's been a lot of drama basically over the last 10 days about this guy named the Liver King. Now, if you don't know who the Liver King is already, I feel like you're living under a social media rock. This guy has blown up over the last year. He does some pretty wacky stuff, pretty much promotes, I would say, the carnivore diet. Now, just this past week, an email he had sent was leaked that basically showed what steroids he was on, and this became basically breaking news for everybody because for a while now, he has claimed that he is natty. So a lot of you guys have been asking me to weigh in on this subject, and that's exactly what we're gonna do in this video today. We're gonna take a look at some of the content he's filmed and put out there, and then I'm gonna give you kind of my thoughts on this whole entire debacle. Yeah, so again, if you really don't know who this guy is, a lot of vegans really hate him because he has kind of been championed as like the carnivore diet's shining example. Basically, this is what you can achieve if you eat liver, if you eat bull's testicles, and just basically follow the carnivore diet. And just over this last year and a half, he's gained millions of followers, and undoubtedly, you know, impressionable kids and just people in general are taking his advice, now trying a carnivore diet, just hoping that they can look like him and just achieve similar results, right?
There's a lot of subprimals that are convinced that Liver King is taking steroids.
Is Liver King natty?
Do you think if I was on steroids, I would have these appendages down here, these legs?
Have legs?
Do you see how little my fucking legs are?
Okay, so first thing I think we have to talk about is just the idea that some people really believe that he was natty. It actually kind of blows my mind that people thought he was because, you know, if you look at the dude, he's an absolute tank and he's literally always pumped and also always shirtless. Now, where I think he went really wrong was he even started to make a point of making content where he's making fun of people who are saying that they don't believe that he's natural. Here's a viral clip that he made that got millions of views. Let's take a look at it.
Liver King here. A bunch of primals keep asking if Liver King is natty or not. I stack blood-burning workouts twice a day, every day. And if you stack the 9 ancestral tenets, you too can express your most dominant form. And by the way, this was my cameraman idea, so tip of the hat to him. I don't even know where to get this stuff. But I will tell you this is filled with maple syrup. There's nothing better than that. Liver King out.
I mean, this is like so on the nose. I mean, he literally says he doesn't even know where he would find this kind of stuff, right? All right, so let's jump forward to the actual leaked emails. He sent these emails to another guy, basically getting his opinion on the stack of PEDs, performance enhancement drugs that he's on. And I won't show the actual email, but basically in that email, he's talking about taking testosterone, IGF, which is insulin growth factor, HGH, which is human growth hormone, and multiple oral steroids. So I want to take this opportunity to basically point out 3 things. And the first one is don't just blindly believe anything celebrities and social media people say. People have agendas and sometimes there are ulterior motives. So use your deductive reasoning, use your logic, just try to, you know, suss things out on your own. Don't just believe because you, 1, enjoy someone's content, or 2, other people are believing that person. And number 2, never compare yourself to people online, right? And in this case, you know, when you are a natty who's comparing yourself to people who are enhanced, you are going to ultimately feel like you are failing because you're just not going to look like that. And that can really screw with your psychology. But another thing I really want to point out is that everybody's genetics are different. Sometimes you'll be comparing yourself to someone else who is natty and you're working just as hard as them. You're doing all the same things, but they look different. Maybe they look better than you. And that, again, can really screw with your psychology because it really doesn't come down to anything that you are personally doing, but other people have different genetics, and comparing yourself to other people instead of yourself, I know it's cliche, can really screw with yourself. So you really just have to compare yourself to where you have been in the past and make sure that you are keeping yourself accountable and progressing forward compared to yourself. And number 3, no matter what diet or lifestyle you're talking about, there is always going to be people who are exceptional examples that people will use to prove that that is the best lifestyle or diet or anything, right? And in that same vein, there are also people who are not necessarily the best, or maybe even, I guess I could just say, terrible examples of that diet or lifestyle. So people will cherry pick to prove their argument right. So just because there's a guy like Liver King who looks crazy thick, even if he was completely natural, it doesn't necessarily mean that what he's doing is the best. I mean, there's people like Clarence Kennedy who's squatting and deadlifting 600-700 pounds, literally weights that a lot of people will never even be able to move a fraction of an inch, and he's vegan. That doesn't necessarily mean that when you pick up a block of tofu, you're also going to pick up 600-pound barbells. That's not a good way to be looking at things. All right, so like I said, all this happened about 10 days ago. He did just issue an apology video about 2-3 days ago, so let's take a look at that.
I'm making this video to apologize because I f***ed up while spreading the message. I've been on several podcasts, and when asked if I've ever taken steroids, I've always said no. I don't touch this stuff, not gonna touch this stuff, never touch this stuff. That was a lie. And so yes, it's true. I have tried several peptide combinations in an effort to increase my growth hormone, and it didn't work, meaning that my levels still remained below the normal level.
So a lot of people were waiting to see if he was going to actually admit to being on steroids or try to backwalk it or say that it wasn't true or anything. Right there, he admits it.
In 2021, when I was 43 years old, I didn't feel 100% physically or cognitively. So I went to get monitored and managed by a trained hormone clinician to see what the was going on with my life.
Now here's a really good example of what I was talking about earlier. When you take somebody who is an exceptional physique and you say, look, it's perfect, this lifestyle, this diet is perfect because they look like this, you don't know a lot of the other things, right? And right here, he's literally saying that even though he's following this, liver, carnivore, ancestral diet, he was feeling terrible. So the reason he started all this stuff, like he just said, is he wasn't feeling 100% cognitively or physically. And so right there, I feel like a lot of people's champion example of this diet being perfect obviously wasn't working very well for him.
With 0.6 cc's of testosterone per week, roughly 120 milligrams of testosterone a week, I am as sorry as a man can be. And all I can do is take extreme ownership right now, be better, and lead myself to a better life as a better human.
Now look, I want to be clear that there are a lot of people who have to go to endocrinologists to fix, whether it's testosterone, human growth hormone, whatever, they have to fix their blood levels. This is common. It's, hormone replacement therapy, testosterone replacement therapy. Loads of people really do need this. And a lot of times it's just genetic. It has nothing to do with their diet. But so many times the carnivore community will really just lay into the vegan community saying that if you go vegan, your blood is going to be absolutely trash. You're going to be low testosterone, soy boy, all that stuff. And right here, it's an example that this kind of stuff happens to everybody. But when a vegan has low testosterone or has hormonal issues, immediately they put the magnifying glass on it. They say it's because you're vegan, you're a terrible person. But it happens to literally everybody on every type of diet.
Primals want to know if Liver King does PEDs. Prioritize, execute, and dominate in life. That's why they named a street after me. Liver King, out!
I clearly heavily disagree with him about a lot of things in terms of health and especially about ethics. But I will say at the very least, he is owning up to the fact that he deceived a bunch of people instead of trying to defend yourself. I think that is a good thing to do. But yeah, that's pretty much my opinions on the situation. I think, like I said earlier, you should be really careful about who you follow, what you listen to, how you compare yourself to other people, because what us content creators put out is just what we have filmed and manicured and edited and gotten the perfect angles and the shots, and it's literally whatever that person wants to show you. It's not like you actually really are there in their life. So it can be really easy to fall into the trap of feeling like when you're watching someone who is really charismatic and very genuine on camera, that you actually know them and that you understand all parts of their life. That's a trap that a lot of people fall into. And I think it's important to take this example and say, hey, look, maybe I should re-examine who I'm following, how I'm following them, what I believe, and just have a little bit of healthy skepticism. I think that would serve everybody really well.
You eat balls. Yes or no, you eat balls.
Lots of balls.
Have you ever ate a penis?
Lots of penises. From a nutritional standpoint, if you get down on some bull testicle It strengthens and supports your own testicle.
I want to know what you guys think about this entire debacle, this entire dramatic situation. Let me know what you think in the comments below about Liver King, about what I've said about this situation. I don't usually post on Wednesdays, but I really want to get this video up while it's still relevant. There will not be a video this weekend, but the following weekend there's going to be a really in-depth vlog because I definitely want to make an effort to get a little bit more personal with you guys. So look forward to that. If you enjoyed this video, as always, give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you in the very next video.